Well, hello everyone. Welcome in round number 3 of the 2018 Race Tech Nationals, presented by Race Factor Gaming and MX Simulator Pro Series. My name is Kellen Brower here on Start Your Systems TV, and we are about to watch some 250 action from Thunder Valley. And it's kicking off right now, actually, with the 250 Consolation race that just got underway. Interestingly enough, former series champion Jeremy Smith is in this one, as he was actually not in the server for UID grab. I guess there's a little bit of mix-up there, so he's going to have to go through the Consi, as they already seeded in the 36 riders through UID grab, and Smith is going to have to try to make his way in through here. Mikhail Ming Woodley, Matt Model, Garrett Oliver, Chandler Rogers, and Neil Wells are the 6 runners for this 4-lap race. Top 4 will transfer through to the motos, and then we'll be off and running for the 250 motos at Thunder Valley. But it's good to see everyone out here tonight. Round number 3 of the series. Of course, if you're just joining us for the first time this year, you may not know that the first round of the series was actually postponed. So Hangtown, which was the first round of the series, as Jeremy Smith is going to go down with the lead and hand it over to Mikhail Ming Woodley. But Hangtown was preliminarily ran, the 250 class actually ran a whole moto, and then it was determined that there was some server issues that were making racing near impossible, and they decided to postpone round 1. So we'll actually see Hangtown next week. That'll officially put round 1 in the books. If you're going off of, just an order of races, I guess you could put Glen Helen last week as the first round of the series. We saw Jack Haley, number 57, Relaxa Tire Suzuki, take the win in the 250 class back at Glen Helen, so we'll see him with his red-plated machine coming up in the motos here shortly. Jeremy Smith didn't have the greatest Glen Helen, but he did win that preliminary Hangtown Moto number 1 that was eventually not scored. So we're going to start from scratch with Hangtown next week, which would normally be an off week after Thunder Valley this weekend in real life, as Smith is going to go back to the lead. There's going to be an off week before High Point. And in that off week, the MXS EMF guys have decided to slot that Hangtown race right in there. So you might think it's an off week next week, but you'd also want to tune in because you won't want to miss out. So these two have gapped the rest of the field. Garrett Oliver is sitting in 3rd. Matt Model is hot on his heels in 4th. They have a comfortable but not huge gap on Neil Wells. So Wells has managed to make his way around Chandler Rogers. And he's going to try to set sail after these 2 guys in front of him. Only 2 of these 6 guys will not be going through to the motos tonight. So Wells is in that position where he will end up on the sidelines unless he can do something a little bit better. Certainly has Matt Model in his sights. Chandler Rogers going the other way down the hill. A little mistake from Wells, losing a little bit of ground on Model. Of course, one thing that this track in Thunder Valley has never really had the factor of that the real-life motocross counterpart series does is altitude. So these 250F machines are not going to be drained on power necessarily like they would be in real life. It's the same traction. We had a whole kerfuffle with that on the forums this week. Same traction as the rest of the rounds on the series, except Southwick, of course. So really, the speeds are maybe a little bit higher, comparatively so, to what these bikes would be able to do at real-life Thunder Valley. Doesn't mean this track is easy, though. These guys are still having to huck some of these jumps. In fact, Oliver landing off the track there. So Jeremy Smith continuing to try to set sail after Mikhail Ming Woodley. And as boring as this race is going to be, I'm going to dive into the chat, see what's going on. Good to see that we got a good party group hanging out already. Oh, Ethan saw me in line at Glen Helen in National last week, IRL. I was there. Bummer that you were trying to get a hot dog, dude. Totally should have came up and said hi to me. Oh, Ming Woodley, a mistake here. Oh, that didn't look pretty at all. And here comes Smith. Flying up behind him. Almost lands on the back of him and now gets that rut a little bit cleaner, trying to pull alongside. They throw a little bit of dualies coming down the hill. And now into the off-camber sweeper at the bottom. Smith is going to tuck to the inside. Make a nice clean pass and goes back into the lead. About a lap and a half left to go in this one. Still pretty good showing for Ming Woodley. Jeremy Smith with the 12 o'clock air, essentially. And Ming Woodley is giving him a fight back. Goes down the inside, retakes the lead. 250 Consolation race going on here. And it's a good battle. Oh, Smith, he lays it down. And it's going to lose a little bit of time as Ming Woodley scoots away out front now. Garrett Oliver trying to close in third. And Neil Wells has now moved actually into fourth, so we've lost Matt Model, and he is actually way back, about 15 seconds behind Neil Wells, who has just been steadily working his way forward in this one. Saw him early on buried with Chandler Rogers. Gapped him, then slowly caught Matt Model, now passed him and has gapped him as well. So our top four is pretty well solidified at this point, barring some crashing. Neil Wells with a 15-second gap behind him. Garrett Oliver all alone in third, and our battle for the lead is still on. Ming Woodley on the 908, Smith down the inside on the 4, and he's going to get that spot back. Let's see if Ming Woodley has an answer. Oh, Smith slides out. And so Ming Woodley will go back through. Up to the top point of the racetrack. Kind of jump up to the top there. They got the Thunder Valley sign in the background, and then they drop down this step down, and then all the way kind of into the middle section of the track, then a little kind of left-handed small sweeper within the large sweeper. Little double up the hill, and then a triple at the top. I think we're going to see that inside line being used a lot tonight. Of course, if you're new to MX Simulator, Racetech Nationals, as Smith is going to go down again. Actually, we got a battle for third. That's a change of position. Neil Wells has just got Oliver. But if you're new to Racetech Nationals, MX Simulator now has online erode, which is basically terrain deformation, as most people know it from any arcade console game when it comes to motocross, or just really any game that has dirt and the terrain deforms. Look at that whip by Oliver. Didn't think he was going to bring it back, and he didn't. That's going to allow Chandler Rogers to maybe close this thing up. But with this terrain deformation now, we're going to see the track breaking down as the Moto goes on. They start off with a pretty clean slate. Track's relatively smooth. We'll see the pace up at the beginning. And as lines start to wear in, you'll see more and more ruts develop. They'll get deeper, they'll get more notchy. And eventually guys will start to move around a little bit. Or at least that's the hope, as Mikhail Ming Woodley is going to stamp his ticket into the Motos. He wins the Consolation race, and kind of with authority. Jeremy Smith is nowhere near him. So I think Smith maybe taking it a little bit easy, knows he's going to be pretty safely into these motos here, but Ming Woodley still a really strong showing here, takes the win, and actually out-lapped Smith like he did a better lap than him. Neil Wells worked his way up to third. He's going into the motos. Oliver is down in the final corner, but Chandler Rogers is also down, as it looks like he was pushing maybe a touch too hard to get there, and he is going to fall just a bit short on the 267 as he is up over the line. And Matt Model on the 101, also not going through into the motos. And here we go, Moto coming down to the finish line, and he is going to make it official. Cuts now in, and the top 4 has been confirmed. It's going to be Ming, Woodley, Smith, Wells, and Oliver going through to the Motos, which we're about to see in just a second. While they build the scripts for that, I'm going to go ahead and take you on a little third-person perspective lap here. Aw, dang it, I forgot that I'm still in the server, so I'm going to have the whole 15-second penalty thing. Oh, it's gruesome. Show us around, Peter. Peter Like, the Canadian myth, the legend. So down through these bottom sections of the track, that section right there is actually a little bit more off camber than it has been in the past years, and working their way up to this step-up double. This is a little bit taller as well. Guy's going to probably scrub it down a little bit harder. It's going to be fun to watch. And then all the way to the top of the hill, quickly up on the top of the plateau, and then stepping back down the hill. Working our way towards the bottom here. Like I said, this is that sweeper. I'm sure there's going to be some good lines developing there. We'll probably see those with some onboard shots later on. Small double back up the hill, and then a uphill triple. Peter like doing some straight airs. Dropping back down the hill, big tabletop, and then kind of one of the most famous corners on the track. Tomac crashed right here in 2015 when he broke both of his shoulders, and Stewart crashed, well, just a little bit further down the track than where Tomac crashed back in 2012 when Stewart was, at that point, perfect as well, just like Tomac was. The famous photographer running across the racetrack, being essentially blamed for Stewart losing focus and then crashing, thus making it impossible for photographers to actually get decent work done in the National anymore. Not that much, but it's definitely more strict these days. Long downhill sweeper. This track has changed up quite a bit over here through the years. This is a little bit more reverting back to its original form. It used to do some stuff where it would like turn right towards the bottom of the hill and then go into those back sections a little bit more. This is a little bit more original of what it used to be when it first came onto the schedule. This is a big triple now that I was about to hit, but we're getting a restart. Chase, I don't know if I got skins or not. Fortunately for you, I turned the stream off between 250s and 450s, so if you want to send them to me, I have my Discord open. All right, so 250 Moto number 1 going to get lined up right now. We're going to have all the heavy hitters out there. I'm also going to tell you guys right meow who was the fastest qualifier this evening at round number 3 here at Thunder Valley. Maybe if I can select the right screen here. Oh, what in the heck is going on here? All right, I guess I can't select the right screen. Well, never mind then. Apparently I can't see the fastest qualifier because MXSEMF's site is broken. Let's make sure I get loaded in this time. I asked Damon Tavella, series hoster, to let these guys actually do their full parade lap. Probably could tell them that doesn't need to do it now, but anyway, here's some of the 250 guys that we'll be seeing out here tonight. Isaiah Dickerson, Jacob Hubbard, Craig Leake, Dylan Gatlin, Matthias Janis, Jeremy Smith, Ben Sieber, Dale Mullins, Zach Prokop, Jarrett Gaskew, Ivan Medina, Jack Gatlin, Dakota French, Colton Mitchell, defending series champion, Mikhail Ming-Widley, we just saw, Trent Shepard, Phil Bull and Kevin Gonzalez, Jordan Moxie, Devin Ryan, Tyler Lewis somewhere, Jack Haley, your series points leader, just front flipped into the valley there, and he's caused a bit of a pileup. It's just a parade lap for these guys, though. Feeling out the track one last time before we get the moto started. Will Whiteley, Edward Mora, Alex Carlo. Here's Jack Haley. The red plate and all its glory. After winning that opening round at Glen Helen. Gonna try to carry that momentum here into Thunder Valley. Alana Solis, Jake Rose, Neil Wells, Colby Eagland, and Gustavo Deniz way back here. Harry White looks like he missed some timing gates. And for some reason, there's 35 guys on the line. What's up with that? So, not everybody here for some reason. Not sure what exactly happened there. Maybe some riders timed out. I know I timed out. All right, thanks for letting me know in chat. Walter Gebhardt was the fastest qualifier. If only I could get the website to work. All right. It is time for 250 Moto number 1 here at Thunder Valley. Looks like we have sorted it out. I think it looks like there's 40 guys on the gate. We're about to find out whether that's the case or not. So if I can't find someone good down the inside, Moxie gets good starts. Let's take a look at Jordan Moxie here on the number 20. It's the Thunder Valley National. Decent jump, but immediately got swarmed by riders all around, and it's the 57 of Haley who actually gets the whole shot down the inside. He's got Jake Rose and Sean Klein right behind him. Isaiah Dickerson on the 65 also in there. But it's Haley out front. Not good news for the rest of the field if that's how it's going to be here early on. Klein's going to try to give chase. Dickerson already up in front of Rose as those three try to break away at the front, heading up to the top of the hill. Only hope here for some of these guys is to either go get Haley now or hope he makes an early mistake. I know Gebhardt was the fastest qualifier, but Haley has had all kinds of momentum coming off of winning his 250 East Supercross title. Comes out, wins the Glen Helen National right away, and Jake Rose puts Isaiah Dickerson on the deck. There is Gebhardt, your fastest qualifier. Carlo and Solis also go through before Dickerson gets going. There's Jeremy Smith right out of the consolation race with Matthias Janis on the 41 right behind him. 71 of Tyler Lang also in the mix. Everybody's kind of trying to sort themselves out here on the first couple laps. Different lines being made early on. We'll see the track deteriorate more as well. Still Haley leading. Klein keeping close though. Jake Rose after moving into third on the 58. He's right there as well. So they worked their way past the mechanics area, dropped down into the valley, and hit the triple the first time. Haley a little out of sorts, almost went through the front door there. All right, so here we go, coming down to complete lap number 1. 250 Moto number 1 here at Thunder Valley. It's 57 of Jack Haley. Leads him through. He's got the 10 of Sean Klein nipping at his heels going through these first couple rollers after the finish here. Everybody going to the middle line there. Looks like these three are actually separating themselves from the rest of the field. Klein and Rose, second and third. And we got Walter Gebhardt, and he puts an aggressive pass. And who's that? That's off the track there. That's, yeah, who is that? Trying to get a number on that. It's Alex Carlo. 46 got just shoved off the track. Walter Gebhardt coming in hot, making contact. He ends up here, but lost a couple positions in the process. So it's actually Alanis Solis who's moved up to fourth. TM Factory Racing, number 259. Rider, I believe, out of Lithuania. Just got passed by Jeremy Smith on the 4. Now Matthias Janis giving chase as they work their way into this sweeper. We got a rider down. That's Sean Klein. Sean Klein off the track there, getting back on in front of Gebhardt. So out of second place he goes. He's now going to come back on actually right in front of Tyler Lang, and then it's Gebhardt right behind that on the 31. Like I mentioned in the Consolation race, it is an all-out sprint at the moment. As Smith makes a mistake, he's going to give that spot right back to Solis, who lays it down himself, and he's off the bike, so several positions will be lost. He's lost about 6 so far. Here's 7 and 8 maybe as his teammate Harry White right there on the 97 also goes through, slots in front of him. Fall-off crashes early in these motos is not the ideal thing to have happen. And again, if you're new to MX Simulator, you don't actually let go of the bike ever. Your hands are always attached to the bars, but you can have a fall-off crash if you hit the ground hard enough, most of the time with your head. And that's basically when your legs fall off the bike, and it takes anywhere between 8 to 12 seconds for you to be fully back on the bike and going. So a slide out, you lose a couple seconds. A fall-off crash, definitely losing closer to 10 to 12 seconds on occasion. Big time loser, especially if you're still amongst the pack early on. Like we saw there with Solis going down, losing several positions. So after Klein dropped out a second, didn't quite see what happened there, but that allows the 58 of Jake Rose to move forward. And he's now occupying that 2 spot. Jeremy Smith on the 4 is rapidly catching him, though, from third. And Smith means business tonight. Talked a little bit about how he had won the now non-scored Moto number 1 of Hangtown. Hangtown, of course, being postponed for server issues. That'll be ran next week. But Smith thought he had come out and won the opening race of the series. Turns out that that is going to be a not scored race. And here he is down the inside, makes a pass on Rose and moves himself into second. Not the greatest week for Smith last week at Glen Helen. Struggled with starts, worked his way through the field, both motos, but also didn't make the best of it. Able to round out inside of the top 10, but not ideal after thinking he was going to win that first moto. Hands the second place position back to Jake Rose here, who had a nice move around the outside after the uphill triple, and now he's actually getting away from Smith. So Rose actually looks like he is one of the fastest riders on the track right now. He's got to stay off the ground, though. Let's actually give a little bit of a sign of the lap times here. See what Haley's able to do this time through and give us a good indication. So through the final corner, down to the finish line, and it's a 2:12.5, so clicking off almost the same exact lap as before for Jack Haley. 2:12.9 for Jake Rose, even with a crash, and here's Smith on a 2:11.9, resets currently fastest lap of the race. 2:13.1 for Tyler Lang. Gebhardt 2:10.9 behind him. He resets fastest lap of the race as Janis comes through on a 2:20. 2:19 for Sean Klein. 2:12 for Carlo. 2:23 for Moxie. 2:18 Harry White. Same for Dakota French. 2:14 for Whiteley. 2:12 for Braden Carter, who's on the move. Colby Eaglin on a 2:20. Isaiah Dickerson, 2:19. Devin Ryan, a 2:12. 2:13 for Trent Shepard. 2:17 for Neil Wells. A 2:14 for Jack Gatlin. And a 2:17 for Dylan Gatlin. And these Gatland, these guys find each other on the track every week, and it's such a tongue twister because their names sound so similar. A little bit of a sign of the lap times here early on as Jack Haley continues to lead at Thunder Valley. So Haley continues to lead. Jeremy Smith now ahead of Rose in second. Now back to Gebhardt, your fastest qualifier. He is in fourth. He's bringing with him 71 of Tyler Lang, who thus far is having a good moto, charging forward. Sticking right here with Gebhardt, which would be a good thing for him to do as Gebhardt knows his way around this track. Fastest qualifier as mentioned. Oh, and they're catching Jake Rose now, 58. Must have had a problem, maybe a tip over, because he was not this close to them before, but now Gebhardt is all over him. Battle for third on your screen here. 250 Moto number 1, 31 of Gebhardt on the 58 of Rose. Gebhardt misses the rut. That's going to allow Tyler Lang to kind of sneak back into the picture. You can see these lines are already developing deep. I think that's going to be a common theme tonight. So the battle continues here. Rose 58, Gebhardt 31, Lang on the 71. Gebhardt, nice inside move. Does he get the drive up the hill? He crosses back over, but he's going to have to let off as Rose tries to shut the door, but Gebhardt notches that inside rut clean, and he's out of here. And Smith is on the ground here. Jeremy Smith on the number 4. He gets going right here in front of Sean Klein, who had to come to a near stop to avoid him. Klein with a great drive down the inside up the hill, scrubs the double down, and will take the spot from Smith. Maybe not. Smith fighting back around the outside, almost off the track though, so he's gonna have to let him go. Coming in as well is Matthias Janis on the 41, and jumping down the far left-hand side of the track, that's the 97 of Harry White, TM Factory Racing rider, who's had a great start to his season. Great, technically, opening round to Glen Helen, but he also looked really strong at Hangtown. Keeping it close, and we got a good 5-rider battle here coming down the hill. Sean Klein right behind Jake Rose. Jeremy Smith in the mix as well. Rose, Klein, Smith, Janis, and White all in the air at the same time. Now working their way into the sweep. Let's actually go on board with Harry White on the 97 here. 2:08.8. Harry White absolutely flying around Thunder Valley right now, and Smith looks like he got down the inside of Klein, took that spot away. Klein must have drifted wide coming to the bottom of the hill, so Smith picks up a spot, 2 spots ahead of us right now. You can see Janis on the 41. Oh, and Smith is down. He hit Jake Rose. Jake Rose is also down. I don't know how Harry White didn't actually fall off the bike either. Whoa, oh man, what a save. Mr. Toad's wild ride. The 97 of Harry White is getting kicked all around. He's looking a little bit like Alex Ray at Glen Helen right now. So we lost Rose, who went down. Smith looks like he kind of plowed into him, unavoidable contact. And here is Rose behind everybody now. So the battle kind of continues between Janis, Klein, and Harry White somewhat, but it all got spread apart. Tyler Lang now has a good gap ahead of them. And Jack Haley continuing to lead 11.5 minutes into this 30-minute plus 2-lap race. You can see the track getting beat down already. These guys are all trying to use the ruts to their advantage, kind of hopping into this inside rut at the top of the hill and then launching down the step up, or the step down, I should say. Battle of the teammates continues here. Matthias Janis and Sean Klein. Number 41 and number 10 in your program book, but number 4 and 5 on the racetrack. And Klein shows his teammate a wheel. Why am I saying teammates? They're not teammates. They're wearing similar setups tonight. MV Films rider Matthias Janis and ever good rider Sean Klein battling it out. It's the Honda Nationals. Everybody still likes running the Honda. Oh, Janice lost it. And oh, where did Jake Rose come from? Just sending it in. Gives Janice the push he was kind of needing there, and then Rose went down, obviously. So here's Moxie into the mix. Smith continuing to have his problems. Slides out again. Moxie goes around him, and look at, oh, Jake Rose up and over. Nearly gets taken down by Devin Ryan as well, and that was the 46 to Carlo, I believe, going through. This is the 201 of Whiteley. Yes, it is. Ooh, Matthias Janis. Look at the depth of these ruts already. Track is super wearing in. Let's go on board with JS4 here for just a second as he's behind Jordan Moxie. Let's take a look here at the track coming up to the halfway point. Get a good idea of how it's breaking down so far. Lots of inside lines and ruts being developed. Looks like the good news is that there's still some options out there. You can see Smith going wide here to get a run through the rollers, and he goes wide down here, trying different lines. And for the most part, he ends up about the same speed, so track seems to be breaking in pretty good. It's going to be super OP to go inside here. Smith almost losing the front end, but able to corral it back underneath him. Now this is working our way towards the top of the hill. You're going to see some more lines developing, and then you'll see that rut that I was talking about at the top of the hill here. So they all kind of jump into this rut and then hop to this inside one to launch down the hill. Just not able to get the step up the step down all the way on these 250Fs. And I imagine this corner is pretty deep already. Yeah, that inside rut super well dug out. Smith actually losing touch with Moxie ahead of him. I think the good news about the lines already being as deep as they are, coming to the halfway point of this moto, is you will start seeing guys have to change up their line. The deeper these inside ruts get, the more guys will have to start searching for a smoother line, because it's just going to be too tough to try to notch into the same, you know, really chopped up rut on these far inside sections. Oh, Smith gets hung up. He's high centered on the rut, and that's going to cause Devin Ryan to get stuck behind him. So Devin Ryan trying to work his way forward. Nearly had a pass on JS4, but then got hung up behind him. Now Smith again with some problems, and he goes down again. So now Ryan's going to go through, as does Matthias Janis. So let's go ahead and do a nice little race tech run through the field here. As soon as I find a good spot to do it. Jack Haley is looking strong, though. This is dangerous for the rest of the field that Jack Haley's able to get good starts. With the speed and consistency he has. Haley's always been one of those guys that he just has that consistency. He's able to kind of put it all together for the consistency part of it. But speed-wise, he's always been just a touch off here and there. He's won some races before. He used to be a pretty commonplace guy in the 450 class. Say somewhat equivalent to Adam Holm is now in the 450 class. But just never quite on the same level as the other guys that he was around. Now he seemed to have found that speed that he needs. His consistency is still there. In fact, it may have even gotten a little bit better. And he's kind of got the total package working for him now. So a race tech run through the field. 57 of Haley goes through the mechanics area. He is your race leader. Rider down in the background there, but that's a lapper by the looks of it. This would be second place. Walter Gebhardt coming through on the 31. Garrett Oliver on the 208 is a lap down. 641 of Fugler is also a lap down. Here is third place, number 71, Tyler Lang. putting in a great ride. Actually, it's a relaxed tire 1-3 at the moment with Haley leading this thing. And a huge gap all the way back to 4th, which appears to be a pretty close battle amongst some guys. This is going to be 4th place Isaiah Dickerson, 5th place Jordan Moxie, 6th place Harry White, 7th place Sean Klein, 8th place Devin Ryan is down in the background here, 34. He's going to get going. Here's 9th, the 58 of Jake Rose. 10th is the number 1 of Colton Mitchell. 11th for Will Whiteley. 12th for Mora. 13th for Smith. And 14th for Matthias Janis. 15th for former series champion Jared Seidhoff. 16th, I believe that is Jack Gatlin that just went through. 17th is the 93 of... why can't I think of his name? 46 is Carlo. 55 is Ben Seberg. Totally just lost the name of the rider that I was talking about, though. All right, who's this coming? 40, that's Phil Bull. 92 is Procop. 148, Trent Shepard. 873, not sure. 891 is Eagland. 11 of Craig Leake. 154 of Neil Wells. 35, Tyler Lewis, and I couldn't quite see that other rider. Might have been Alana Solis. 237, I believe, is Jake Warden. 908 of Mikhail Ming Woodley. 123 and 182. 182, Kevin Gonzalez. Dakota French was the rider I was thinking of. I think that was Jared Gasky that just went through on the 256, by the way. And then eventually we'll have our race leader come in. Here he is, actually. He's putting the 778, I believe, of Jacob Hubbard a lap down. And that is a Racetech run through the field. Racetech.com for all your suspension and engine needs. Haley is down. He's off the bike. And Gebhardt was right behind him, so he's going to assume the race lead. Haley got a big kick right there, and he is off the machine. Gebhardt into the race lead. And just like that, we have a new leader at Thunder Valley. So down through the finish line, almost on the 20-minute mark. And Haley's got it all to do now after leading this thing from the gate drop. Finally coughs it up 19.5 minutes in. Tyler Lang still sitting a strong 3rd, but he's going to go down. Looks like he clipped Hubbard on the way by. Moxie's moved up to 4th, so Sean Klein... Isaiah Dickerson, I should say. Kind of lost him. Here he is. He's now back to 6th. Devin Ryan and Colton Mitchell on the number 1, who talk about not getting a start. 20 minutes in, Mitchell finally into the top 10 in 8th, running 209s now, so he's found a little bit of free air here. Starting to put some laps down a little bit more. Of course, Mitchell, your runner-up in the 450 Supercross Championship this year. Him and Alexis Clare battled to the finish line. They actually entered Las Vegas, the finale, tied on points. Eventually Leclerc getting the nod there, and then Mitchell electing to step back down into the 250 class to defend his title. Very Ricky Carmichael-ish. Carmichael moved up for then 250 Supercross in 99 and then moved back down to the 125s. Mitchell's going to get a spot. There's Devin Ryan on the deck. So up to 7th now. 8 seconds behind Dickerson. Then these guys are all kind of well clumped together as Lang is now down. That's going to cost him 3rd. There goes Moxie into 3rd. Hubbard a lap down goes through. 10 of Klein also going through. And Lang's going to get going just ahead of Isaiah Dickerson. And now Dickerson got a little carrot dangling in front of him, wants to go after Tyler Lang for this position. And he is going to at least pull side by side. A little bit of dualies action over that triple jump. And for the time being, Lang is going to hold the spot. He had the inside advantage there. Nothing Dickerson could do about it. And the 71 machine will stay ahead. This track is definitely getting chewed up. We saw Haley hit a bit of a kicker. That's what caused him to go down and ultimately cost him the lead of the race and potentially a race victory, as he is now nowhere near Walter Gebhardt. Well, it looks like Mitchell just got through on Lang, and Lang's going down again. Tyler Lang, who is just in third place a lap ago, in danger of falling outside of the top 10 as Devin Ryan goes through. And Matthias Janis just behind him. And oh, Lang is down again. Oh, Tyler Lang, no. No, as Janis and Whiteley go through. Here's a 26 of Edward Mora, and he's going to use that inside line to take that spot away. So a dreadful lap or so for Tyler Lang drops him from 3rd to 11th, just like that. A 2:42.2. And he just basically coughed up about 30 to 40 seconds in the last lap and a half now. Sure, he's not going to be too thrilled about that. Go back up front real quick and see that our leader is just buried in some lap traffic right now. There's lappers everywhere in this battle. But it looks like he actually just got through all that. Let's go back to our previous battle. Matthias Janis and Edward Mora about to be disputing 9th. Tyler Lang also stuck right in behind both of them. And it looks like this triple in the back is a huck for these guys. They're kind of seat bouncing it. Just able to clear the knuckle of the tabletop landing. Janis right here all over Will Whiteley, who is kind of slowly and quietly worked his way inside of the top 10 here on the 201 Evergood machine. All of these Evergood riders seem to have it kind of working this week. Whiteley just getting passed there by Janis, but his teammate Mora is still right behind him. Lang, Harry White, Alex Carlo, Jared Seidhoff, Phil Bull, Dakota French. Oh, Ben Seberg. Big crash off the front of the machine and over the bars. Allows Jack Gatlin to go through. And Jeremy Smith, who is just having an abysmal second half of this moto. At one point looked like he may have an opportunity to challenge for the lead. Has now gone up and over the bars and out of the points as far as I can tell. Yeah, back to 24th. So disastrous for Jeremy Smith, who was in second place at one point during this moto. Go back to this battle again between Janis Whiteley and Edward Mora, with Tyler Lang still kind of lurking back there. These poor guys all running a similar click, and it seems like they can't find a way around each other. So here's that triple I was talking about. Look at Mora down the inside. May have gotten a little bit better than his teammate Whiteley, and he did, and take that spot away. So now Mora is going to set sail after Matthias Janis. You can see Lang on the 71 Relaxa Tire Suzuki coming in the background as well. Good little freight train here. Oh my goodness, Mora just absolutely ripped that inside line. Now he's right here on Janis. So Mora suddenly on fire as he lays it down. Jumps to the inside. Pushes Janice wide, but Mora hits a SpongeBob and goes down. Whiteley goes through, Lang goes through, and all that hard work Mora just did to get there is all for nothing at this point. So he drops himself back to 11th. Battle's still on nonetheless, though. Janice, Whiteley, and Lang still mixed together. Through the rollers behind the start gate. Slowly creeping up on 30 minutes into the moto here. Man, oh man, this track is getting chewed up. Huge braking bumps down the bottom of the hill here. Let's go on board with Tyler Lang and take a look for ourselves. You can see little notches appearing in the faces of some of these jumps. Noticeably so, we saw Jack Haley crash hitting one, hitting one of those notches. And now Lewis is trying a different line altogether, staying out of that inside rut and jumping out of the outside line all the way down the hill. Look at this, good run for Lang. Pulls alongside, and I believe he is going to get that spot. Oh, crossover. Actually, how about this? He's going to go after Janice, too. Janice trying to shut the door on him. This guy's tucking far inside, trying to get out of that rough. Again, different lines developing here. Lang pulls alongside Janice. Did he get the spot? He did, but it was because Janice actually fell. And Janice drops back to 10th. Just in case the absolute balls out of that triple jump. And now Lang's still hot on the heels of Whiteley, and look at trying new lines again, far inside out of the ruts entirely. It's Fugler on the 641, a lap down. Oh, even Whiteley getting a little kick in the same spot we saw Haley hit the deck earlier. Like I said, the way the track has deteriorated, the deepness of the ruts, kind of the kickers throughout, it's made guys have to change up their lines. Not everybody's taking the same lines anymore. You're seeing some spots get too deep as Lang misses that inside rut, and he is in a bad spot here trying to get that relaxed the tire machine up and over the hill, and he does so finally. Oh, Matthias Janice panned to him, and he is just off the back of the machine, winged out through the whoops. This time he's trying to go after Will Whiteley. Whiteley's just been mixed in a huge battle. Dickerson down. Isaiah Dickerson losing a couple positions after that crash. Tyler Lang was also able to slip through. 182 of Kevin Gonzalez getting out of the way. Oh, Janice all over Will Whiteley. Different lines coming down the hill. Let's see, do they both funnel to this far inside line? Well, Whiteley just full send to the outside, and he's off the track. He's going to get back on, still ahead of Lang, but now behind Matthias Janice. These guys are just going after it back here. So up front, Walter Gebhardt just gets the 2-lap board. We're past the 30-minute mark. And Gebhardt worked his way through the field, caught Haley, then Haley went up and over the bars, and Gebhardt has not looked back since. Still a strong showing for Haley nonetheless, so sitting a solid second. Sean Klein has worked his way into third and is all alone. And Colton Mitchell needs a start in that next moto to be a factor. At the moment runs fourth, but what could have been with a better start. Looks like he might have just gotten Moxie too. Moxie trying to stay close. Devin Ryan, Matthias Janice, Will Whiteley, Tyler Lang round out the top 10, and here is Dickerson. I'm sorry, Dickerson actually in 10th, and he's bringing Harry White with him. So how about this battle? Battle for 10th. Really 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th all on your screen. Lang actually goes down, so White is going to go into 10th, right behind Isaiah Dickerson, who's in 9th. Dickerson getting a little swapped. Let's see if White tries an inside move. Doesn't quite have the angle just yet. Now pulls alongside, going up the hill. Does he have the drive? Not quite yet either. Dickerson able to hang on. Look at how deep that first corner rut is. And then the chop down at the bottom of the hill to the outside, and White's actually lost a little bit of ground on Dickerson, who's trying to go after Will Whiteley. So just when Dickerson looked like he was about to get past, suddenly he is trying to be the passer and going after the 201 of Whiteley. Battle for 8th on your screen. Harry White still lurking there in the background. Can't leave him out of this discussion. Look at, he just got that inside line super clean. And again, all over Dickerson. Dickerson trying to make these outside lines work a little bit. Gets a good drive. Tries to pull the inside of Whiteley. Whiteley misses the landing of the jump and goes a little long in the rut. Now they all funnel to the outside. Actually, Harry White was looking inside. 3 in the air at the same time. Almost contact between Dickerson and Whiteley, and Dickerson has got to be getting a little tired of it at this point. He's going to try to force the issue. Meanwhile, Harry White goes around the outside, the inside. Plays nicely, though. You saw him slam on the brakes. Look at, oh my goodness, the chop coming into some of these corners is massive. White losing a little bit of touch now. Tyler Lang still there in the background. Tremendous battle. 8th, 9th, and 10th. It's never ending. Seems like Will Whiteley's been the center of a battle for the last about 15 laps. White flag is out, by the way, for your race leader, Walter Gebhardt. We'll flick back to him in a moment. This battle continues to just rage on as Dickerson and White both swap to the far left side of the track. Whiteley looked like he did the same. Dickerson actually falls, and here comes Lang trying to get Harry White going up the hill into turn 1. Synchronized crashing, as it were. Boy, that looked interesting. Back to your race leader, though, Walter Gebhardt. Fastest qualifier. Not the best start, but also not the worst. Of course, much better than his teammate Colton Mitchell could fare. And then slowly picked his way through the field. Eventually found himself in 2nd and caught Jack Haley just in time for Jack Haley to send it over the bars, and down he went. Gebhardt took the lead, never looked back, and Moto #1 winner here at Thunder Valley is Walter Gebhardt. Number 31 ART Racecraft decals, puts it on the top step of the podium. Looks like Haley is still maybe disputing 2nd with Sean Klein, who's been experimenting with some different lines, as it seems. Not over between them two, and actually Colton Mitchell and Jordan Moxey are catching both of them and having a great battle for 4th between themselves. See if Moxey tries a crossover. He's going to send it down the inside. Oh, they're both down. They're both off the bike. Not going to change anything, though, as Devin Ryan is too far back. So who's going to get up first? Moxey actually going to get up first, but he's stuck in the rut. And there, oh, he gets plowed into by Neil Wells, I think. There's Trent Shepard going through, and Mitchell has it all to himself now. So it was Haley Klein, Mitchell in 4th. Moxey's going to be 5th, although Devin Ryan's making a last lap push here. Let's hope Moxey gets through this final corner clean. And he does, trying to work his way around Shepard and Wells there. Devin Ryan ends up 6th. Matthias Janis ends up in 7th, as it seems. Yeah, because Tyler Lang's too far back in 8th. Edward Mora now in the 9th. And Whiteley in the 10th. White is 11th and Dickerson is 12th, so it must have all kicked off back here because the positions changed dramatically on this final lap of the race. Lang ends up 8th, Mora 9th. And rounding out your top 10, Will Whiteley, ever good 201. Harry White right behind him on the TM Factory Racing Machine. Isaiah Dickerson is all alone in 12th. Jared Seidhoff all alone in 13th. And the last guy on the lead lap, Australia's own 228, number Phil. It's Phil Bull, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if he throws a little bit of sauce on the triple. Has he got it for us? Oh, nothing. No sauce. Final corner. And down to the finish line. Phil Bull brings it home. Colby Eagland a lap down in 15th. Jack Gatland, Alex Carlo, Dakota French, Zach Prokop, and Tyler Lewis unofficially in the points. We're going to have to wait and see for cuts. And cuts make it official. Those guys stay in the points. And actually no change inside of the top 20. So it's Walter Gebhardt, Moto number 1 winner here at Thunder Valley. Jack Haley and Sean Klein round out the podium. We'll be heading into Moto number 2 here in about 5 minutes. But we're going to have a quick break. And while we do that break, look over in chat real quick. See what's going on. Saw Checkers had dropped by earlier. Thank you, by the way, to NXS Best and Josh Montgomery for sending me the times via Discord. Don't know exactly why I couldn't see times on mxscmf.com, but I couldn't. All right. 5-minute break before Moto number 2. Guess now would be a pretty good time for a little bit of a ask me anything. If you guys have something you want to ask me, you're more than welcome to. By the way, I want to give a big shout out while we have a time or a moment to do so to Versus PC, versuspc.com. John over at Versus PC getting me hooked up with a fantastic gaming PC this year. Eventually, probably in the next couple weeks while I go on vacation and I'm going to pump out a bunch of pre-made stuff, you guys will see the PC build itself and see how it all came together. It's an awesome setup. And can't wait to share that all with you guys. But definitely check out Versus PC. Big help for the broadcast this year. Sponsored the Supercross broadcast and is now a proud sponsor of Start Your Systems. So please be sure to check out Versus PC if you have some questions, concerns, or you want to get some PC parts or whatever you want to do. Versus PC will have you covered. And it sounds like I'm now joined in booth by the man, the myth, the legend. It's Chris Riesenberg. How you doing tonight, Checkers?
Good evening, Kellen. I'm doing okay. Just kicking it.
Just kicking it. It's Thunder Valley. It's one of the best nationals of the year, in my opinion, at least.
One of the worst to build, maybe. But it's really difficult with all the off-camber sections and such. But the jumps are fun.
Yeah, lots of
whipper tails.
Lots of big booter jumps on Thunder Valley. It's super jumpy for a modern national track.
I'm very excited that the infamous turn down for what jump has returned. Probably one of my favorite jumps in the nationals for sim, at least. Always some good action scrubbing up and over that thing. Before we get into the racing, Kellen, how you feeling? It looks like you had quite an eventful weekend last weekend.
I'm actually feeling fine from the weekend. People are wanting me to start doing shots for dualies again, but I don't know how much my liver can handle at this point.
I hope you had a good time. Looks like you had quite a sim crew out there with you.
Oh, yeah. Went over the bars mountain biking, drank way too much alcohol, stayed in a log cabin in Big Bear. Doesn't get much better.
Sounds like the boys took good care of you. Real cool.
They definitely did.
Some alright fellas. So I missed Moto numero uno of the 250 class, but it looks like Salty Walty was the man to beat, huh?
Yeah, Walter Gebhardt, fastest qualifier here tonight, got a semi-decent start the first moto and just methodically worked his way forward, got to Jack Haley, who eventually crashed out of the lead, And Gebhardt took off with a rather easy and convincing victory.
Pretty surprising to see Haley not bring a win home with a good start. And you just said Walter was solid, which is not what he is known for, but good for him.
Yeah, we'll see if he can repeat it in Moto 2. Leave here as your Thunder Valley National winner. Or will somebody else step up to the plate? Saw Colton Mitchell have a horrendous start to his second moto outside of the top 20 by a long ways and eventually made it up to 4th. So if he can get a good start this moto, I'd imagine he'd be a factor. Of course, Jack Haley, who enters as your points leader, finishing 2nd, will remain a factor in the second moto as well. Guess while we're sitting here watching these guys go around, Chris, might be a good time to pick a Versus PC one to watch.
Oh my. I am gonna pick. It's tough without seeing the first moto, but what I could do, actually, I'm gonna pull up the Moto 1 results and we're gonna pick the 16th place rider, whoever that is. So let me get on that right now.
Wait, I think I know it.
16th place in Moto number 1, Jack Gatland, TM Factory Racing. Did we already feature him last week? I feel like I know we featured a TMFR.
Was it Harry White last week?
Oh, that was correct. So I guess we're going back to TMFR rider, Jack Gatland out of the number 190. He is our VersusPC.com one to watch here at Thunder Valley Moto 2 with the 250 class getting ready to get underway.
So we'll keep an eye out on Mr. Gatland. Having to be more specific with their names because we have a Jack Gatland and a Dylan Gatlin racing this series now.
Just gotta really enunciate the D. You know you love the D.
Gatland.
Yeah, not Dylan Gatlin. Jack Gatland. He got land. He built a track on it. He is in P5 if you want to watch him right in the middle of the gate on the start. VersusPC.com, one to watch him. Hopefully do a whole shot.
Well,
not yet, though. This is only a warm-up.
The warm-up lap, yeah, as I was about to say, but we'll see what he can do. Last time out, we saw Jack Haley get the whole shot, so we'll see if the other Jack can whole shot this one or if Haley will repeat.
Off the warm-up lap. The warm-up lap start is going to Devin Ryan, Relax Attire, number 34. The old JLV slogan was always good warm-up lap, bad race. So
I don't think that the phase. Oh my, Devin Ryan.
Yeah.
I was just about to say how hard he scrubbed that single going up the top of the hill, and then he scrubbed 360s down the hill.
I am stoked that you got that.
That was sick.
That will definitely be his moment of the race, no matter how he does, unless he wins the moto. And even if he wins the moto, yeah, that might still be his moment of the race. Of course, this is going to be a big transition for these guys coming off the track that they just rode with those big wall berms and rough stuff into back to being slippery feeling because there's nothing to hold you in. Really going to have to change your play up coming into this moto.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a tough adjustment for these guys because not only is it a bit more slippery in the corners, but there's also less bumps on the track, which means you can kind of push it in certain sections a little bit more than they were towards the end of the moto. So I'd be curious to see who's going to be able to adapt to that kind of all-out early sprint pace again like we're used to seeing.
All right, so we're going to go racing. Pretty excited to see what is going down.
Yeah, I think this full parade lap is a little bit of my doing because I was asking you earlier today if Damon's the race host because I was going to ask him if he could just wait for them to finish the whole parade lap so I can make sure I load in because I missed the 450 starts last week, but made it in no problem this time.
Thank you again to Damon Tavella's stepping up to host this series for all
Yeah,
the fine individuals in the MX Simulator community that treat him so well every week.
no question.
And I'm going back to P5 again. I'm going to watch Jack Gatlin on the start, see if he can rip a hole here versus PC.com. One to watch on the number 190.
All right, it is time for Moto number 2 here at Thunder Valley. The 250 class set to go again. The revs are up, and the gate is
Oh,
down.
Gatlin actually got stuck in the gate along with a bunch of guys. Jumped on the right side of the start. Might allow an outside hole shot coming
It's
into turn 1.
gonna be
JS4.
Haley again. No, who's Sean Klein?
Dickerson, Haley, Klein.
Where did Klein come from? I didn't even see him on the far inside, but he's gonna get the hole shot. I think maybe he missed the inside timing gate. I'd have to go back and watch that.
Hole shot.
Klein leads Smith. Smith had a abysmal second half of his first moto. Let's see if he can turn it around this one. Haley's up front again, then Janice, Dickerson, Lang. Sidehoff a much better start this time around. Gonzalez, Prokop, Hubbard, Mora, Solis, Shepard, Rose, Warden, Gaskew, French, and then Moto number 1 winner Gebhardt, who is just inside of the top 20. And again, no sign of Colton Mitchell, so another terrible start for your defending champion.
Battle for the lead is on, and they're together. Jeremy Smith pushing out of the way. Sean Klein to go to the lead, takes point. And Jack Haley wasting no time to jump up alongside and try to capitalize as well. Klein looking aggressive, gets a little crossed up on the double. Still going for the big triple up.
Not going to get it. Haley around the outside does, and is going to take that spot. Those guys on the very edge of the traction right there. Haley misses the rut, though.
Gonna drop a spot, and Dickerson looking for an opening now on Haley. Smith with a mistake out front. Sean Klein gonna go from third to maybe first in 2 corners. Not quite gonna be able to get there.
Smith closes it off, and here's
does
Haley
it,
down the
though.
inside. We're gonna go 3 wide on her down. At least Smith
is
went down, and there's 2 guys jumping over him for the race lead. It was Lang and Dickerson, but Haley holds on to the lead. Dickerson moves to second, then Sidehoff, former
is
series
snuck in there.
champions up here. Someone just hit a
Klein just went
SpongeBob.
down. Sean Klein down.
So Klein off the bike, gets going amongst all these guys, and Gebhardt actually lands on Klein, so Gebhardt is down as well.
Sideoff going for the second. Jump scrubs inside of Dickerson. Amazing pass. Over the roller. Haven't seen many people using that as a passing spot. Now Sideoff under heavy pressure. Dickerson trying to get the spot back.
Different lines, 3 different lines actually through that corner as Haley leads again. If it's PulpMX Fantasy and you picked Haley to lead lap number 1,
Sideoff
you
is
double down.
So Haley, Dickerson, Matthias Janis moving up into the number 3 ride, followed by Prokop, Lang, and a whole host of others up the hill. So Jack Haley gonna try to take off with this thing. Dickerson's been avoiding all the controversy and chaos, has moved from about 5th up to 2nd. Goes off the track a little bit there, no harm, no foul. Back on, going down the downhill. But he's down. So now a huge lead for Haley. Zach Prokop has made his way up into the number 2 spot. Tyler Lang in 3rd. Lang had a good first moto, it looked like, when I popped in here at the end. They're going to make it a good day here at Thunder Valley.
Yeah, look at this. Oh, side hop down the inside of Hubbard. He's bringing his teammate Smith with him.
Smith, after being out front, hitting the deck, going to try to remount and go back to the front. Crossing lines up right there with Jacob Hubbard. Hubbard going to have the line into the inside.
Great early action here. Looks like these guys have quite well adapted to the change of pace with the track being a little bit more wide open. Guys jumping all over the place, several different lines being used early. That should set up for a better race moving forward because there's going to be a lot of options.
As long as they stay grouped up at least.
Jake Warden with a really good start here early on is trying to hold off Sideoff, but he's going to go down. Several riders slide through.
A host of others go through. That's going to drop Warden outside the top 10. Another rider write it down. That was Dakota French. Out front, 5-second lead for Jack Haley, running in 2nd spot. It's Porkchop Zach Prokop. Prestige Worldwide, number 92, going to come across the finish line. The battle on for 3rd right now. Tyler Lang and Isaiah Dickerson throwing down, battling it out.
Again, seeing different lines being used.
At least for now, until the main line gets developed anyways, they're able to move around the racetrack.
Dickerson looking to size up Tyler Lang here. Battle for third at Thunder Valley. Oh,
nice
Dickerson.
triple up from Dickerson. Gets over that big one. He's carrying a lot of speed, and these guys are reeling in Prokop as well. Scrub a dub. Mr. Clean on that face.
Dickerson trying to cut back across the inside to get Lang, and actually sends it down the hill, but loses a little bit of ground on Lang. Like you said, they're both kind of closing back up on Prokop by doing this.
And closing behind them is actually Sidehoff as well as Jeremy Smith. So we're about to get a really bunched up group here if these guys all keep their pace and keep her on two wheels.
Nobody keeping tabs on Jack Haley out front, though. He is continuing to stretch out his lead.
Staying relatively the same, right at about a little under 5.5 seconds. So Prokop seems to be matching Haley's pace, meaning the third on back guys are actually going faster. We'll see lap times when they come by.
Ooh, Dickerson, I thought he was going to lose it coming down the sweeper. He's got Sidehoff closing on real quick here.
Yeah, Sidehoff carrying a really good pace. We saw that in the opening lap as well. Of course, had some mistakes trying to remount from them. Only in fifth, so he's got plenty of time to get work done. And I'm seeing the track's already getting worked in, so I'm guessing the next few laps will be some of the fastest of the race before it starts to deteriorate and actually slow back down a little bit.
And it looked like for a moment Sidehoff was going to have a run at Dickerson, and now Dickerson looks like he's actually going to go after Lang again.
Lang definitely keeps inching up on Prokop as they come across the line. Looking at lap times, 2:09 for Jack Haley, 2:10.3 for Prokop, 2:09 for Lang, and a 2:09 as well for Dickerson as he's trying to put the move on. That 2:07 from Jared Sidehoff. So Sidehoff definitely the fastest guy in this top five group, pushing it forward from the back. Dickerson works hard right now on Tyler Lang down the downhill.
Well, these guys kind of funneling to this
mistake
outside.
From Prokop, he's trying to get back on safely, and he's not going to do it safely. Almost takes out Lang, which allows Dickerson to go by. Maybe both.
Woo! That was some close action, and Sidehoff is still right behind these guys as they're almost four abreast coming up the hill. Dickerson sending it down behind Prokop, and then Sidehoff going around the outside of Lang. That's not going to work, or is it?
He's got the momentum up the hill. I think he's going to hold the spot. He did lose a little time, but doesn't lose the spot as they dive that inside, and now Lang makes a little mistake, going to open the door for Sidehoff to go after Dickerson. Prokop right now, he's the dam, holding the water behind him. All kinds of pressure from those three riders, Lang, Sidehoff, and Dickerson.
Sidehoff's name says La Flame, but he's actually on Prestige Worldwide, so it's a bit of a Dickerson sandwich right now. Prokop and Sidehoff on the same team on either side of him.
Prokop hanging tough. A little mistake there. He's going to clean out a couple mechanics and allow Dickerson to go around the inside. Dickerson misses the rut, though. Might give him a chance to come back. Bar to bar. Dualies!
Woo! Trileys! Oh, that was rad. Dickerson does get that spot, though, and now Sidehoff is right behind. Oh, wow. How did he save that? I thought he was off the bike for sure. Here comes Lang looking inside of Sidehoff.
No room to breathe right now for these guys.
No doubt about it. It actually looks like Dickerson has opened up a small gap on Prokop. It's really a Sidehoff-Lang battle for fourth that's going off. Lang looking inside. Sidehoff uses the momentum and the outside lines to stay ahead, though.
Sidehoff carrying a lot of momentum and speed around those corners, but he's leaving the door open to do it. Down at the bottom, these 250s all have to slingshot this berm to get a run up the hill into the rollers. 7.7 second lead, 2:08.5 lap time for your leader, Jack Haley, last time around. 2:08.6 for Dickerson, who's moved into second. Then Prokop, Sidehoff, and Langs continuing to battle over the 4 and 5 spot.
Sidehoff with a huge moment just a second ago, landed completely sideways on that scrub single up the hill and almost went right into the hay bales on the side of the track, able to corral together and hold off Tyler Lang, but Lang coming back after him.
So Sidehoff's momentum is slowed for a moment. It looks like Prokop maybe regrouped a little as he's actually closing back in on Dickerson, who was trying to get away from him.
Still nobody keeping close on Haley. He's got a decent sized lead to work with as these guys all battle amongst themselves. Looking a little further behind these guys, Jeremy Smith riding alone at the moment, then Jordan Moxie, Matthias Janis, Devin Ryan, Jacob Hubbard, Sean Klein, and Ben Seberg all mixed together with Colton Mitchell coming right behind them. So this is a good little mixture. Klein looking to get around Hubbard. Hubbard right behind Devin Ryan. Rider down. Moxie on the 20 loses 6 spots in one corner with a tip over. And oh man, these guys are all so close together. Devin Ryan looking inside on Janis, coming up the hill side by side. Not able to make it just yet, and Janis gets the drive down to hold him off. In the background, Klein jumps off the track and Seberg goes through. Then Mitchell has found his way ahead of Moxie after that crash, and he's trying to get around all these guys and move his way forward. Seberg and Hubbard are kind of swapping positions back and forth here. Klein's just hoping not to get tangled as Mitchell sits back behind him. Oh, Mitchell ripped the outside of that corner. He's going to get right on by Klein here. And now he's setting his sights on Hubbard, but he jumps on the back of him and he goes down. Hubbard stays up. Moxie slides through. There goes Edward Mora. I believe that was Carlo, and then it's Whiteley, and then Eagland also went through. So that battle was good. It kind of all separated now. Back to the battle for 4th. Whoa, side off, jumping off the track. Ooh, Haley almost went down with the lead, but he's got a pretty good lead to work with, so I think he's okay there. Oh my, Jared Sideoff absolutely ripping that inside rut. He's got his sights set on Isaiah Dickerson here.
Yeah, trying to get up and going into the number 4 spot. Sideoff comes up a little short, though, loses some momentum.
Seems like every small mistake he makes, though, he makes it right back up.
Down. That's Lang.
Oh, Dickerson over the bars. Sidehoff goes 5th to 2nd in one straightaway. And it's now him and Prokop 2nd and 3rd.
Haley is down with the lead. So that's
Ooh.
going to shrink the lead in about half. It was 18 seconds. It's going to be down to about 10 if he gets going smoothly here as he goes down the drop. So here comes Sidehoff, maybe the opportunity that he needed. As Prokop going to try to go with him.
Sidehoff, your 2016 series champion. Trying to prove that he is still plenty capable of winning these races outdoors. Wants to go after Jack Haley for the race lead. And he's bringing his teammate with him. Man, this is a very impressive ride thus far for Prokop.
He's actually going after the 17 of Sideoff, getting a little sketchy, but holds it together, jumps over that jump and lands into the inside rut. Nice line there by Prokop.
Yeah, he's looking really solid and smooth right now. It looks like he's got this track dialed. Small mistake, lost him some time, but he's still hanging tough right here in third.
So the lead's at 8 seconds. Side off in Pro Cop trying to cut into it. We're just about to hit the halfway point of the Moto. I think now would be a good time. I'm going to jump back in the field and let you know where our versus PC.com 1 to watch is. And it's not looking good. Looking like he is buried. Jack Gatlin back in the 30th position. TM Factory Racing rider. Got to make up 10 spots just to get into the points. After a solid first moto in 16th place. Maybe he's going to put it on strong as the track gets beat late in the moto.
Not doing too well this moto is Gatlin, but at least he's back here with his endless buddy. They always end up on the same stretch of the track because why not if they have nearly the same last name? Dylan Gatlin back here, actually Gustavo Diniz between the two of them. Well, now Trent Shepard also between them two, but they were at one point in the same positions, 30th and 31st.
We have a change for the number 2 spot. Zach Prokop, Tyler Lang, Isaiah Dickerson, and then Jared Seidoff, who's actually getting right back around Dickerson. So Seidoff had a mistake. No, Dickerson runs it in deep. And nice heads-up racing pass there for Seidoff.
That was too close for comfort, but Seidoff,
amazing move.
Yeah. Like you said,
all right.
Change of positions here and go ahead.
I was just going to say, while we're at the halfway point 2 of the round 3 of the Race Tech Nationals, let's do a Race Tech top 10 rundown, starting with your leader, Jack Haley, Relax the Tire, number 57, rocking the red plate, looking to go for a 2-1 moto scores, I believe, correct?
Yes, sir.
Oh, narrowly missing a lapper there. I think that might have been Neil Wells is going around. Zach Prokop settles into the number 2 ride, Prestige Worldwide, trying to lower that number 92. A second in this moto would certainly help. Solid moto going right now for Pork Chop. Running in third, Tyler Lang. His Relax the Tire, number 71. Having a great day here at Thunder Valley. Has some heat coming from Jared Seidoff on the 17. Of course, a former champion of the series. Isaiah Dickerson runs in the number 5 spot. 65 MV Films rider. With his first full national season in the pro class after we saw him jump up last year after being a standout amateur. Sean Klein, Evergood, number 10, runs up in the number 6 spot. Jeremy Smith still hanging tough in 7th. Prestige World Ride, number 4, another former champion. He's got some heavy pressure coming from Relax Tires. Devin Ryan, as well as first moto winner Salty, Walty Gebhardt, Art Racecraft, running to the 9 spot. The 31 has been moving his way through the field. He had a terrible start and was outside the points for quite some time. He's made a lot of passes and running in the top 10. Edward Mora running for Evergood on the 26. Goes over the scrub jump. And that is your Racetech Top 10 Rundown. Racetech Suspension and Engines. Log on racetech.com. Get your bike dialed and go faster.
Go back 2 more positions real fast and find our defending series champion Colton Mitchell. Trying to march his way forward again, all the way up to 4th in Moto number 1. Let's see where he will end up here in Moto number 2, but currently runs in 12th.
Things in the top 5 have definitely settled down. The battle for 7th and 8th is on right now, though. Jeremy Smith under some heavy pressure from Devin Ryan. Ryan tries to leap into the corner and goes over the berm and over the bars. So another position for Gebhardt, who's marching his way to the front, trying to do everything he can to get up there and capture the overall after a Moto number 1 win.
Yeah, he's absolutely flying right now.
Yeah, not a great opening Glen Helen round for Salty Walty. So nice rebound here at Thunder Valley. Carrying a lot of speed into that corner. Jeremy Smith doesn't have the drive. I think Gebhardt's going to have the inside on him up the triple. Smith's going to try to shut the door.
Oh, contact.
Down.
Now Smith ends up high-centered in the rut. And Gebhardt tries to take him out again, and Smith stays on 2 wheels. Here comes Hubbard. I don't think Smith's going to be too pleased with that move. Let's see if he tries to send it back up down the inside here. Not close enough just yet.
a racing incident. Gebhardt being aggressive up the inside, but he did have the inside, and they're pretty much bar to bar into the turn. So you can blame either one of them, and you'd probably be correct. One shut the door, and
yeah, but Chris, you know these fragile little flowers. Oh, Smith is off the track. He's going to try to get back on safely, but he's right there with Hubbard and Ryan.
oh, Gebhardt's down.
Not going well for the 31 as Smith almost hits him. As
Hubbard
does
with
Devin
the front flip.
Hubbard looks like he's just having fun out here. I saw him throw some absolute sauce on the finish line jump a lap ago.
I'm pretty sure Hubbard obviously rides with the stream open when he's racing, because last week he was our one to watch, and he was just throwing her dirty for us. So he knows we're watching him, and so he's going to throw down the sauce here, running in a nice top 10 ride, running the 778, but I think he's going to have a double-digit number come next year if he keeps up this performance.
Yeah, definitely looking a lot better in Moto 2. Got a bad start in Moto 1, just never really seemed to put it all together. But Moto 2, great start, still running right here around the top 10.
Battle for second is on. Prokop running that solid race, still has the spot. Sidehoff, who at times has been the fastest guy on the racetrack, has caught him once again. See if he can make something happen. It looks like he's going to go down just as Prokop makes a mistake. Here comes Dickerson. He's going to dive around, and there goes another mistake from Sidehoff. So again, he has some speed, but he doesn't have the consistency worked out. Dickerson going around the outside has a nice performance going, and he rides the front end into the corner. The track's starting to get beat now. 21 minutes into the moto.
And even saying same mistakes over and over from Sidehoff, but we're really they're not that far behind Haley. Oh, and Prokop slides out a second. There goes Dickerson through.
And Dickerson's doing some things that are just phenomenal to me. I'm watching him just like leap through the bumps, land turned into the ruts, and already powering out of them. Wondering if he's gonna start making mistakes as the track gets gnarlier, because it looks pretty sketchy, or if it's actually he's just gonna go faster than everyone else because of what he's doing.
Right. We'll have to see how that develops. Meanwhile, Prokop coming unglued a little bit as Sidehoff is down again as he had just gotten back around his teammate. He crashes out of third this time.
Give a call to the comeback of Sean Klein right now on the number 10 as he makes a mistake trying to lay into the berm. No rut or bump to be blamed for that. He just literally slid out in the corner. But Klein is up front, fell to the back, and he's moving his way back to the front. Now he's got some heavy pressure from Sidehoff, so there's a battle for that number 4 position.
So many different lines being developed in each of these corners at the bottom of the hill. Klein all the way inside, Prokop all the way outside. Works out pretty evenly, or I should say Sidehoff, not Prokop.
Yeah, it looks a little better than Moto number 1. I mean, still some of the corners getting those big walls. Like here, the 250s, they have to get such a run up this hill. Hopefully in the 450s, we'll see some guys utilizing that inside line as well.
Right.
Definitely not perfect, because we're still perfecting the road system for sure. Moto 1 was definitely far from ideal. Couple different lines here. Sidehoff sees an opening. He's going to go for it down the downhill, but that's risky. Both of them kind of going to the smoother inside at the top of the hill, but then it still gets rough at the inside of the bottom. They both kind of blew the turn at the bottom. Neither one of them getting a great run up the uphill into this triple.
Great battle, though, nonetheless.
Sidehoff, another mistake. That inside's getting really blown out there. I feel like you could just land to the outside where it's smooth and just rail the corner consistently and probably be better off at this point.
Well, it'd definitely be better off for Sidehoff, because that's the second lap in a row we've seen him do it in that corner. He crashed the first time, saves it this time, but still, maybe want to think about looking in a different spot next time. Oh, just as I switched to Haley, he was almost going down.
He blew that rut there too at the middle of the corner as well. His lead is 17 seconds, so solid performance going on for right now for the 57 of Jack Haley. And solid seems like the word of the year for Jack Haley. But also solid second place rider, man. Zach Prokop is really, really good today at Thunder Valley. I like that line. He just went right in the middle. No one else going there. And avoids all the bumps and all the ruts. And so Prokop looking nice and good in the number 2 spot. Definitely not laying down the fastest laps as he goes down. I thought that might have turned into a 6 scrub, but now Dickerson finds himself in second once again. He's been there a few times this race.
I was right there with you. I thought Prokop was just going to slide it down on the inside, a nice perfect scrub.
And look who we find in that third podium spot. Sean Klein continues the march to the front of the field as Prokop's back going, putting the pressure on him.
Man, you're absolutely right, though. Prokop looks like a different rider this second moto. He wasn't near the front the first moto per se, but he also didn't really put a whole lot of good laps together. Now he's going after Klein again.
He's got to run.
Different lines. Klein's liking using that Baggett line around the outside, and it's fast, but it doesn't set him up well for the inside down here. Oh!
I like that, though. He misses the beginning of that rut, but it was a nice smooth line into the turn. The inside not quite rough enough to justify it, I guess. Prokop going to go to the middle there where it's smoother, and Klein goes right through the rough stuff, bar to bar. Dooley's scrubbing the downhill.
That was nice.
Bar to bar into the turn. Prokop carries a lot of speed and is going to hold it together.
Man, Prokop is absolutely ripping. He's going to have his shot to go back after Dickerson here too as well, it looks like, as they're closing in on him, but Klein might have another shot at him here as well. Three riders coming down the hill here. Prokop, again, trying different lines, goes far left side into the corner to get himself set up. He's kind of getting kicked around a little bit. Oh, looks like we lost Klein. Yeah, he went down in the background. Didn't lose a ton of time, though.
Yeah, the battle for second is on right now. Dickerson, Prokop. Prokop marching to the front.
It looked like for a little while it wasn't out of the question that he could still win this moto. It might be tough and need a Haley crash, but definitely Prokop is probably the second fastest guy on the track right now. And there's a pass.
Prokop stays on the bike though, so he's going to be okay. But Sean Klein going to capitalize right back into a third position.
You know, that corner at the bottom of the finish line jump, we saw a couple guys in the first moto when they swung wide, they'd get kicked across the track towards the end of the moto. I think there's just a little notch that's catching them off guard as they come out of that corner.
Yeah, it looks like a couple acceleration holes are starting to form.
Another mistake from Prokop, and Klein has now fought his way all the way up to second, but again, the lead for Haley is insurmountable at this point in the race, almost to that 30-minute mark now.
Oh, a couple of quick updates on our key players. Moto 1 winner Walter Gebhardt was up to 6th, just went down, takes a couple guys with him, as Colton Mitchell is actually one of them. He was the other guy I wanted to check on. They're both laying in turn number 1. Gebhardt gets a double fall off from that steep rut. And all the riders going into that line, so it looks like Jacob Hubbard also piling up there, unfortunately. We'll do one more check here on our versuspc.com one to watch. And he is buried in 24th now, so he's moved forward a little bit since last time we checked on him. Jack Gatlin going up and over the triple Boner Air, sending the nose to the sky like a stuck-up chick in high school.
Yeah, and he is 30 some odd seconds behind points at the moment.
Just trying to make a move here on Neil Wells, though, around the outside. He's going to make that happen, so still charging forward for Jack Gatlin.
Got Braden Carter right in front of him, but as I said, Eagland, who's in the points, is about 37 seconds ahead of him. So it's a tough ask, but you never know.
Someone should probably tell Jack Haley if he wants more stream time, he needs to let these races be a little bit closer, as he's 22 seconds out front, crossing the line yet again. I believe he should get 2 laps to go next time around, as it's 28 minutes 44 seconds into the moto when he went across the line. Yep. Sean Klein runs second. Jack Prokop just went over the berm in third, so Isaiah Dickerson's going to take the spot.
Sidehoff is just going to get here as Prokop gets back on the track. So the battle for fourth might be going on here.
Couple of lappers and a tumbling rider there. Almost takes out Sidehoff. Now Sidehoff almost lands on another lapper. All kinds of chaos. Prokop under some heavy heavy pressure. Sideoff been working this outside. Prokop using it as well.
I think one of the lappers was their teammate Gunnar Fugler on the 641. As Sidehoff is down again every single time he's in the midst of these good battles, and he's off the bike again.
Devin Ryan, Tyler Lang, another good moto. Still running up in 7th. Not quite as good as moto number 1, but a good performance regardless. A couple of relaxed attire teammates. Back in 8th, we find Colton Mitchell and Walter Gebhardt right behind him. So Gebhardt not ideal, but starting outside the points for quite some time. A top 10, he's not going to be happy with it. However, it could have been so much worse, and he might have a chance to pick up a few more spots before the end of this to pair with his moto number 1 win.
Yeah, with how mixed up the scores are too, I wouldn't necessarily put it past that if he gets a couple more spots, he still lands on the podium here. Guys like Sidehoff, Prokop, they were not necessarily towards the sharp end of the field in the first moto. I think as it stands, I'd have to imagine Klein's going to get 2nd overall. Haley will get the win. Dickerson might be in line for 3rd overall, actually.
By the way, time has expired as Haley's a couple corners from the finish line, so he's going to be 2 laps to go as he comes up and over this big triple jump.
Have we ever talked to JLV about the possibility of getting a 2-lap board programmed into the game?
That would be pretty swell.
Because it just shows the green flag in the air, but of course all the viewers at home, it is 2 laps to go now. Time expires after the 30-minute mark, and then the 2-lap board comes out. So white flag will be coming out next time by.
Klein, Dickerson, I'm looking for the battle. Prokop sits all by himself in 4th. Sidehoff 5th. Devin Ryan and Tyler Lang continue to battle a couple teammates.
They're not too far behind Sidehoff either if we see another mistake out of Sidehoff.
I mean, if we wanted to help out relaxed tire teammates, Devin Ryan and Tyler Lang, we'd probably just follow Sidehoff around, and we don't even have to. He puts himself down. I was just going to say, every time we show him on stream, he goes down. And sure enough, we're talking about him, and he hits the deck. So sorry, Jerry, we'll just quit talking about you, and then you can get yourself to the front without falling. So that becomes a battle for 5th now. Devin Ryan has the spot.
Definitely more so than Moto number 1. It looks like the lines are developing kind of all over the place. We're still seeing some one-line spots, turn 1, but that's super one-lined in real life, so it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It looks 100% better than Moto number 1. It still needs some work, and I mean, people got to remember this is really only the 2nd round of this working. Properly, so
yeah, I mean, we even saw last week. We saw last week at Glen Helen where the erode just kind of stopped working halfway through a moto and then picked up again at the end.
Absolutely, and thankfully JLV putting in some server updates to help out with that this week. So continuously evolving the game to support what's going on.
Man, Lang is trying so hard to get around Devin Ryan. Almost crashed at the top of the hill.
Big kicker on that double face. Actually probably helps these guys because they're able to get a little more height on that little step-up double to slow down for the inside.
Ooh, Prokop and Dickerson battling it out here. I think Dickerson just lost that position.
Also, Gebhardt and Sidehoff are going bar to bar as well, a little further back. So,
oh man, that's going to be a good battle. Former series champion is down again, Sidehoff.
Shocker, we talk about him and Sidehoff hits the deck.
Oh, man.
Sorry, I keep forgetting that we're not allowed to talk about him. The white flag is in the air for your leader. Battle for 3rd might be the one to watch. Last podium spot, Dickerson, Prokop.
Either that or Lang versus Ryan is still a good one. These guys are just nose to tail the last 2 laps.
Little mistake from Ryan, but Lang actually can't capitalize. It's a pretty one-line section right there.
Lang's going right in the middle here in this corner after the finish line, not hitting a rut. Costing him a little bit of time, but obviously the safer line. White flag in the air, though. Might want to throw a little bit more caution to the wind if he wants to get around Devin Ryan.
guy's doing a nice job navigating the racetrack right now. It's challenging when it's this choppy to debate how much you can push it to try to make up the time and make the pass. And you want to keep the pressure on and hope to make a mistake, but you can't be in the same line either if that happens. Lang trying an inside down the hill. It's going to get a little sketchy.
He's not quite able to keep Devin Ryan as close as he wants him.
Up to that battle for the podium position. Dickerson's trying to swing around. Zach Prokop, they are nose to tail.
Oh,
They're going
man.
into that triple jump.
They're both ripping.
If you want to pop over to our leader, he's about to take the checkered flag.
Jack Haley with the front flip for style and back-to-back overall victories on the board. Jack Haley wins the Thunder Valley National in the 250 class, and another front flip for style. Here is back to that battle for third. They're not too far behind Klein either.
Wow, he just launched into that rut. He's got a good run. Doolies.
They're still not that far behind Klein. We have to watch that too, because Klein, I think, cut the first corner, but we'll have to see. Oh, I don't think Dickerson's going to do it on Prokop yet, though.
He's going to try to push him into a mistake here, probably. Or stay close, hoping for cuts.
Over the line, Klein second.
Oh,
Prokop down! Final corner, and Prokop throws it away. Dickerson ends up in third. And Prokop
going to try to get going here and still hold on to fourth, just barely over Devin Ryan, who held off Tyler Lang that whole time.
Mitchell right behind them, too.
Mitchell ran his fastest lap of the race on the last lap, 2:06.8. Holy guacamole.
It was almost the fastest lap of the race, comparative to Jack Haley's 2:06.4, which he ran way back on lap number 5. 11 laps more on the track with all the roughness, and wow, that's a pretty impressive lap time. So Walter Gebhardt throws out the anchor a little bit here at the end, falls behind Harry White before the finish line.
A little vengeance there for Dickerson. Remember, he threw a Supercross win away in that same fashion in the last corner. At least he gets the podium in this one from another rider making that mistake.
Yeah. Jeremy Smith is going to end up 12th here. Jordan Moxie, kind of all alone in 13th. Jacob Hubbard, he's just out here. He's just having a good time. Throwing a little oppo whip. See if he gives us a little flash of style over the finish line jump as well.
Nice little whip to bring it in. And Colby Eagling going to be your last rider on the lead lap. The Rolex attire machine.
He's front flipping into your living room. Oh, and he's down.
Face plant.
Will Whiteley, Jake Gordon, Edward Mora, Craig Leake, and Jack Gatland have already finished the race. He did get a point. Never say never.
Boy, to the versuspc.com. One to watch, Jack Gatland coming from behind, scoring himself a point from way, way back. So nice job not giving up for the number 190.
Eaglin's still going for the front flips. Just barely got it. And now over the line, gets 15th. Everybody stays. Oh, actually, no. Zach Prokop dropped all the way to 6th behind Tyler Lang and Devin Ryan, who both move up to 4th and 5th. Wow. Interesting. Didn't quite see the amount of cuts.
Remember that he fell in that last turn, and those guys finished right behind him.
Yeah.
So, nose to tail, basically.
Wow. All right, well, we're going to jump off the air for just a quick moment. We'll be back on the other side of this quick break, and the 450s will be coming up here from Thunder Valley. So thanks for watching the 250 broadcast live here on Starter Systems TV. We'll see you guys in just a minute.